Hi, this is Mrs. Dedecker here to show you how you're going to do your Amazing Race Part 1 in Google Sheets. First of all, what we're doing here is a challenge. We're going to actually have race dates, which will be April 1st through April 4th of 2021. And I must welcome you to the Amazing Race 7th grade edition. Each participant will journey on a 3-day challenge across the USA. So the first thing you're going to do in your challenge is you're going to travel to 3 cities in the US and be back in 4 days. So what you have to do is you need to pick out 3 different cities that you'd like to visit. And to help you, what I did is I included a US map within your assignment for which you can actually look at and pick out your cities. And because major airports typically only go to major cities, you're going to have to pick one of these or 3 of the cities which is shown on this map to be sure that you can get a flight there. So you might have like, for instance, for my example here, I'm going to be traveling to Nashville, Tennessee, and then I want to travel to San Antonio, Texas. And then lastly, I want to go to Orlando, Florida. So once you pick your 3 cities, and you can go anywhere in these states here. You have to pick something within these states that are shown on this map, which is also included in your assignment. It's called US Map with Major Cities. It's simply a picture. You can just use it to pick what cities you want to travel to. And these can be places you really wanted to go visit someday. So once you do that, you pick your 3 cities, which I have, then you need to look at all the requirements of the assignment. So here you must leave from and arrive back to Milwaukee. You must spend each night in a different city in a hotel rated 3 stars or higher. You must do this on a budget of 2 grand. So you can't go to the very high end hotels. You'll have to pick kind of the medium ones unless you get a bargain. And then in this Google Sheets file, you will include the following within the tab called Amazing Race below. So if you notice, we're in the Instructions tab. The other tab is the Amazing Race. As I'm pointing to it right now, I can click on it briefly and you will fill this in just like it looks here. But before we do that, we're just going to take this one step at a time so that you understand what you all need to do. So you just had a review on the basic formatting within Google Sheets. So hopefully a lot of these functions won't be too new to you, but may be challenging. But I think with the instructions in this video, it'll hopefully help you in doing this assignment. So you may use the following travel websites for your research, like Expedia, Travelocity, Kayak, or Cheapo Air, whichever one you prefer to get your flights, your hotels, and places to go. So once you get an idea of what you need to do for the spreadsheet, this is kind of giving you an idea of the things you will be doing. You'll be doing a merge and center, you'll be adjusting column widths, you'll be using the auto sum function here to tally your totals because you're going to be adding up the total of all of your costs for your flights, for your hotels, food, and entertainment. And then you will get a grand total, and then you can subtract that from the 2 grand which I give you for this assignment, and whatever you have remaining will show up here. And the person with the most remaining out of all of you students will get a special prize. So I think we'll take the top 3 will get prizes. So then, and here's your rubric. It tells you you need to enter your student name and number, and then you can also you got to enter all the information. I'm basically repeating what I just said. that you have to do. And I think what I'll do is I'll get right to it. You're going to go right into the Amazing Race tab, and basically this will be blank for you when you initially get in here. This is actually a completely done spreadsheet, and you will have pretty much just this first line. So you'll enter your name. So I'm just going to enter Mrs. Dedecker, and then your student number. So in this case I'll just put 21, and oops, and then we will start with our first city. So I told you I wanted to go to Nashville, Tennessee. So you're going to start in Milwaukee. So you can put Milwaukee right here right away and right here on your day back. So you have 4 days that you're working with, and you can just enter these dates right away. You can do a quick hit, just enter the, the first through the fourth, because it'll be the same for everybody. And then you're going to put your cities here. So this is the first city I'm arriving in is Nashville. And then from Nashville, I plan to go to San Antonio, Texas. And then from San Antonio, Texas, I plan to go to Orlando, Florida. And finally from Orlando, Florida, back to Milwaukee. So the times for my flights will vary based on what you find on the travel websites. So for my first city, I'm going to be departing from Milwaukee to Nashville. So I got to find a flight to that city on the 1st of April. So I'm going to go to the travel websites. I'm just going to go to Expedia. And on Expedia, I'm going to say I'm going to Nashville. And actually, it might even pop up. You can just click right in there, and then you got a check-in date will be the 1st of April. So I'm going to click on this Thursday, and I'm going to yeah, and then I would be actually ending on that date. So you're going to check out on the April 2nd. So I want to go to Nashville, and I'm going to search for a flight. So I'm looking at flights. Oh, that's why I was in the stays. So be aware of where you are in the actual travel site. So I want to actually be in the flights. So I'm leaving from Milwaukee. So just a real quick MKE gets you right to the Milwaukee General Mitchell International Airport. And then I'm going to Nashville, Tennessee, which we just did. And then I'm departing on, oh, but I'm not returning. So basically, I just want a one-way flight. So I'm going to go one-way flight departing on the 1st. So I'm going to just search to see what they have. And I kind of looking for the best bargain, but I have to leave on that day. These dates are what you have to leave on. And typically when I look for flights, I look for the lowest duration of the flight and not so many stops. If you can deal with that. If you're trying to really get a bargain, you might have a stop or two, but most of the time you can get a direct flight to the major cities from Milwaukee. So here I see I have a flight here through United that leaves at 8:25 a.m. So what I want to do is I have to remember the time, 8:25, and United and what the price is. I could probably click on this and get the information. I want to actually, wonder if I can actually copy I'm going to try to copy this, and then you go back to your spreadsheet and you're going to type in United here. We have Delta here, so I'm going to put United. And then the time was different. It was 8:25 a.m. actually. And there we go. And then the arrival time this is the actual arrival city and time. You go back to where you found that flight. It looks like you arrive at 11:29 a.m. So you can go back to your spreadsheet and put 11:29 a.m. or you can copy this one so that you get the AM in there and just make this 11:29. And then the price was 89 actually, and it was through United. So hopefully that gives you an idea. So that's how you would look up a flight, and you're going to do the same for your remaining cities. So then all these flights will be one-way flights. So just so you have that in your head. So now from Nashville to San Antonio, I would go back to the flights here, and you don't want to continue because you really don't want to buy anything here. You just want to review to see what you're going to do. So now I'm going to go back and change this to Nashville. Nashville, and you can click right on it. And then I'm going to fly to San Antonio now. And here's San Antonio, Texas. And I'm not going to be departing on April 1st now. I'll be departing on April 2nd. So I just click on April 2nd, and then I'm going to do a new search. Hopefully this doesn't take too long. So now we're finding our flights, and usually they put the lowest price on the top. So if the flight seems okay, I would just grab that flight. Don't spend too much time on it. So here, if we click on this, gives you more detail. Again, it's on United, and the time it's leaving is 6:40 p.m. And the reason why you want your departure and arrival times is in case someone's going to pick you up at the airport. Maybe you're going to visit friends. Maybe you need to get a rental car. It's always good to record what time you're actually going to go. So here I'm just going to copy this 6:40 p.m. go back to my student thing, and I'm going to put it right here. Now it's in the, there we go. And then it's going to arrive. So you just got to flip back and forth. 10:33 p.m. Let's go Control C and go back to my spreadsheet and make this 10:33 p.m. And then the price of the ticket was even higher than this. It was 157, and again it was United. So then you would continue to do this, and whichever is the cheapest airline you're going to pick for your trip. So now once you get all of your airline information entered, then you can add up all of your costs. So then here, all these costs give you a total here. You're going to actually enter either the sum total or just enter an actual formula. So here it actually gives you a sum. It automatically popped in a sum here because I had already entered it. But let's say we didn't have anything in there. So now if I was to enter the sum for this, I'm going to look for the function, the sum command, and sometimes you won't see it on your toolbar here. If you don't, you just click these three dots, which is really the more command, and then you click on that and you'll see more options. And here I see the sum function right here. So I'm just going to grab the sum, and then I'm just going to click and drag the items I want to sum. So then you just click and drag and press enter, and voila, it actually enters your total for all of those costs. And you're going to do the same for all of these remaining categories. You have like a hotel info, you'll have food, restaurants. You'll literally be able to pick out whatever restaurants you'd like to go to in each of these cities. They must be in the cities that you are visiting. And you want to pick at least one that's not a food chain. Like, you don't want like McDonald's or Culver's. You want something more, indicative of the area, just to make it more interesting for yourself. And then if by chance you look on their site and you go to the menu and it doesn't give you any pricing, you are allowed to just put $10 per meal if there is no pricing there. And again, you're going to have breakfast, lunch, and dinner on each of the days. So you could actually populate these dates right away. You're just going to have 3 days worth of meals. And then your entertainment, you just need to pick one entertainment or attraction in each of the cities that you plan to visit. Something significant about that place. Maybe a place you've always wanted to visit yourself. I know many people like to visit the water parks in various cities, so those are always fun. So you could look those up. And then um, as far as entering like these nice dividers, usually your spreadsheet starts out like it looks like this. It'll be blank, and then you'll have like something like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I created this hotel info here. So you just select the ones you want to actually make as part of your title, and you can just click the merge button. And then if you wanted to make it red, I'm going to just click on the fill and make it red. And then I also, if you double click inside there, it allows you to enter some text. So I'm going to say hotel info, and you can use whatever font. I would bold it so it shows up. So I'm just selecting and bolding, and then you could center it so it looks nice within the spreadsheet. So to center it, you just go to your alignment command and press that little triangle, and then you can press the center alignment, and there you go. So then you got how you're going to do that. And then once you get all your totals, so let's say you've done all of your research, you've looked up all these different places, you can go to different hotels, you have to put the name of the hotels in here, and then you also have to, put all the names of your restaurants as well. And once you get those costs, what we're going to do is we're going to figure out how much we've spent to date. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually show you how I came up with my grand total. So initially this will obviously be blank, so I'm going to wipe it out just so you can see how I did it from scratch. So what I'm doing is you always put a equals in there in the cell in which you want to put the formula, and we basically want to add up how much all of these items costed, like our flights. So here we're going to add this, and because we want to add this plus our hotel, food, and entertainment, we have to put a plus sign in here. And to keep the same formula going, you have to hold the control key down. So you may have to use the plus sign. I'm sorry. To get the plus sign in, you just have to do shift plus. So you're going to go shift plus, and then you're gonna go and scroll down because you want to get your total for, and you can use these scroll bars to scroll over so you can get to where your total is for your food. So now I'm going to make sure you have the control button pressed, and press the total there. So now I'm going to go shift plus on my keyboard so I can get the plus again. And then my last total, I need to have the control key again pressed, and I'm going to click on that total for my entertainment section. And once you get all of those done, you can just simply press enter. And then you can see what the actual formula looks like. To be sure, you have 4 different cells indicated there because that tells you got all 4 sections worth. And then the money remaining will be simply the 2 grand that I'm giving you minus this particular value. So I'm going to do this from scratch again. So I'm going to take 2,000, and then you're going to just say minus, oops, You don't have to put spaces in there. And then I want to click on this cell. So I just click on this cell and then press enter. And there you go. So now it has my total and it looks really good. So that's basically what you're going to be doing. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask me during class. Um, but that's basically what you're going to be working on. And I hope this helps. Thanks. Bye.